First, few words to the operator. Can you bump it up by clicking Command plus? So just in the browser. Like zoom it up. Command plus. Okay, too big. Now just a little smaller, so it fits. Command minus, yeah, exactly. Almost once more. Yes. Okay, thank you very much. Hello guys, I'm really excited to be here. My name is Konrad Dzwinel and I am a front-end developer. Front-end developer at Making Waves, and I'm also a Google developer expert for Chrome. And I'm super excited about front-end because I believe it's one of the most innovative areas of the IT nowadays. And it's getting more and more significant. We need more and more JavaScript developers, people who know CSS and HTML. But on the other hand, there are new technologies entering front-end, and everything becomes more and more complex. I talked with my friend from the front-end development department, and we put up a list of tasks that we have to do like every day. And it's pretty huge. But it's good. It's good because there is a lot of opportunity for automations and great tools. And one obvious tool that we all use here probably are DevTools. And DevTools are awesome for CSS, HTML. They are awesome for debugging JavaScript. And finally, they are awesome for debugging performance and finding bottlenecks, right? So, but DevTools only cover some of the topics on this list. It's still quite a lot of gray out there, right? We also want to automate other tasks. So we have some great tools that can do more things. Like we have task runners, we have generators, we have package managers, we have Photoshop plugins, we have tools like Code Climate and GhostLab. Still a lot of gray there, right? So what should we do? Should we wait for someone to create these tools for us? Hell no, we are programmers, we can build our own tools, right? So if we are web programmers or web developers or front-end developers, however you call our group, we mostly focus on JavaScript, right? So if we want to build a tool, we probably don't want to learn a new language. We would like to use JavaScript. But JavaScript is for websites, right? It's not. Exactly. So some time ago, Jeff Atwood wrote jokingly that any application that can be written in JavaScript will eventually be written in JavaScript. And if you look at it now, it's becoming more and more true, even though it was a joke. And let's see what you can build with JavaScript nowadays. So you can automate your operating system by writing Node script, or in new OS X, you can actually use JavaScript directly to automate the system. You can write grunt and gulp tasks, which are custom. You can create generator. You can automate your forms and your spreadsheets in Google with Google Apps Script, which is basically the same as JavaScript. You can create plugins for such applications as Photoshop, Illustrator, and many more using JavaScript. You can create desktop widgets and gadgets for OS X and for Windows. And you can build even desktop apps. And I believe Dima just told you just exactly that, right? And finally, we have little something called browser extensions. And that's what I would like to tell you today about. So I have a couple of questions, a couple of how do I call them? Issues, like a couple of things that I found in my development workflow that I decided to automate. And I'd like to show you on these examples how I did it and how super simple it was. So first off, in my previous company, we were working with a tool called Redmine. And Redmine is bug tracker. And bug trackers normally send you a lot of emails, like emails that new task was created, email that task was updated, stuff like that. And I found it super frustrating because I like to keep my inbox clean, and I was missing the important information. So I decided I can do better. I can create a tool for Redmine which helps me to cope with that. So I created Redmine Issues Checker. Redmine Issues Checker adds this small button here that you probably know from other extensions and shows me number of issues assigned to me. This was the important part for me. And it also shows nice notifications with all the details that I need, like priority. So how I build it, what are the important parts that you need to do in order to build something like this for your custom bug checker or your custom application. It was pretty simple. But first off, you have to create a manifest file. Manifest file kind of describes the extension to the browser. It's a definition of the extension. So we have name and version number. This is pretty simple stuff. Then we have description and icons. These are optional, but again, super simple. And finally, we have something more interesting. We have permissions that include notifications and URLs. And why I need access to notifications? Because I want to show notifications. And why I need access to all URLs? Because I want to contact the API of Redmine which can be anywhere in the internet. Then I have browser action, which defines this little button that we talked about. If I use browser action in my manifest file, it means that I want to show a button in the toolbar. And finally, we have something called background page. And Dima probably also talked about it. And background page is where all our logic lives. So you can think about it as about an invisible tab where all the code is being executed. So user cannot close it easily. He can disable the extension and kill this tab, but normally he cannot see it. And additionally, this is not a fully normal tab. It has access to some specific APIs that all are prefixed with Chrome. So let's have a quick look at this code. That's basically what I did for Redmine Issues Checker. So we have interval which checks every 30 seconds, tries to get from the API number of issues that are assigned to the current user. So I fit all the logic regarding doing AJAX calls in this method. But then when I get the results, only thing that I have to do is call these two methods, setTitle and setBudgeText. So setTitle will be responsible for showing this tooltip, and setBudge will set number on this small thingy here. Super simple, right? Okay, so we have background script, we have our manifest file, and we have some icons. That's all we need so far. What we need to do to test our extension is to go to Chrome extensions page and enable developer mode, because we are developers, right? So then you will see a button called Load Unpacked Extension, and only thing you have to do now is to point Chrome to your folder with extension. And after that, your extension is loaded. That's all. It's loaded, you can play with it, you can test it. And anytime you will do any changes in the background, you will have to hit reload, but that's it. And if you would like to debug what's happening inside your background script, you just need to click this link, and you will get DevTools, like normal DevTools that you use every day, and you can play with the background script. Super simple. And that's it, basically. That's the whole Redmine Issues Checker thing. It got pretty big after that, but at the beginning, it was as simple as that. Okay, so another issue. A lot of people were complaining that they want to play with some part of a page, like in a separate environment, or they found some bug in a specific component of the web page, and they would like to try to fix it somewhere else outside the website. So what they need to do is to grab HTML, grab CSS, and have them somewhere else where they can play with them. And it's not simple to do that. You can quite easily grab HTML, but grabbing CSS connected with this element is rather complicated. So I created Snappy Snippet. And Snappy Snippet is an extension that allows you to do just that. Isolate element from a page and send it to CodePen, JS Fiddle, or JS Bin. So let's see how it works. First off, you have to inspect element. So same thing we are doing here. So just select it in the Elements tab. Then go to the DevTools, and you will see a new panel called Snappy Snippet, where you have to click this green big button. And what green big button does, it extracts HTML and CSS from the element, so you can copy it from here and play with in your editor, or you can, with one click, send it to JS Bin or JS Fiddle, etc. So here's our element. We have CSS and HTML separated. You can start playing with it in just few clicks. So what are the important parts that I used in Snappy Snippet? How you can build similar tool? Okay, so first off, you have to mention that you are extending DevTools. So we are back in our manifest file, and you have to mention that DevTools, that you are creating new DevTools page. And on this DevTools page, DevTools HTML, you have to include some JavaScript, which will look something like that, just one line. Chrome DevTools panels create, and here is the name of our extension. Here is the image or logo of extension, which is no longer used, so you can skip it. And finally, we have panel HTML. So this is the name that I just set, and this is panel HTML that I have here. So just a simple website. I used Bootstrap in here. You can use whatever you want. And the second part that was required here was executing some code inside the context of the web page. So I had to, from the DevTools panel, from here, I had to send some code that will execute inside a page. So to do that, you call inspected window eval, and here you put some code that you would like to run inside the web page. So that's a super simple example. Here I'm getting document title from the original page, and as a result here I will get the result of execution of this code, which will be document title. So these two parts, the evaluating code and creating new panel, were like the basics of Snappy Snippet. It's of course much more complicated now, has some quite a lot of code there, but these things are the basics, right? You need to use them to create something similar. Okay, so if you are a power user of Chrome, you probably have a lot of extensions, right? And this can suck, because they clutter your workspace. This is not good. This looks almost like IE a couple of years back. They can distract you, like popping up all these notifications that are not significant at the moment, and they can slow your browser down, because as we talked before, as I mentioned, most of the extensions will use the background page, and the background page is like a separate tab. So now I don't have here one tab open. I have actually like 10 tabs open. Each of these tabs uses memory, CPU, and network. So you can understand that this can get slow. So in order to fix that, I created another extension, which is like obvious solution for everything. Which allows you to group extensions into categories. Like, I created a category called development where I keep my extensions that I use at work. I have shopping when I'm doing some shopping. I have a couple of extensions that help me, notifications and stuff like that. So when you group your extensions, you have this little pop-up. So again, we have a button, and this time we have a pop-up. And this pop-up shows us all the groups that I created. And you can easily turn them on and off from the pop-up. So now I will turn off all development tools, for example, these two, and add some shopping tools. And this will look like something like this with one click, right? The development extensions are gone, the shopping extensions are on. Also, you can go into category and turn on and off these extensions individually. So pretty handy tool, and I use it a lot. So what are the most important parts that I used here? Well, first off, I have options page where you can drag and drop extensions into categories. And I have this little pop-up. So let's see how I added that. Well, we are back to our manifest file, and we are stating that we want an options page and providing you which page will handle options. Then we are back to our browser action, which we talked about before. But this time we are not only setting a title, but also setting a pop-up. So super simple again, just a couple of websites. Here is options HTML, and here is our pop-up HTML. That's it, 2 websites. And if we have an option page, we also would like probably to save some data, right? So we can use the obvious solution, which is local storage, which sucks, as you know. But and we have something called Chrome synced storage, which is awesome. And it is awesome because automatically, if user is logged into Chrome, it will save settings for your extension. And user will see the same settings on every browser he is logged in. So just automatically, and it's asynchronous, not synchronous solution, so much faster. Okay. Whoa, works. Okay, so a second part was the managing of other extensions, right? So if I want to get information about other extensions, if I want to turn them on or off, I need to put management into my permissions array in the manifest file. And then I can do stuff like getting information, enabling and disabling stuff, and listening to events. Like whenever a new extension is installed, you can show some little pop-up asking user to put it into some group or category, right? And I showed you just a couple of things, and in fact, there are like over 25 APIs that allow you to touch things like bookmarks, history, tabs, windows, proxy settings, so some more advanced stuff, even power. So look it up. It's a lot of things that you can do on the top of Chrome extensions. And when you are finished, you would like to probably share your extension with your friends at least, or other developers. So how to do that? We have something called Chrome Web Store, where you can find apps that Dima mentioned, extensions, and themes. And what you need to do to push your extension to this store is to open developer dashboard and just simply zip all your files of your extension and send them here. That's it. Yeah, it will be available in the web store for everyone to download. There is a one-time $5 fee, but it's just in a matter of validation, so you are like real person. And you get some tools like beta testing. So from Chrome Web Store, you can say that only a couple of people can download the extension at the beginning so that they can test it. And later on, you set it to public so everyone can download it. You also have a form for all your users where they can ask questions, where they can put bugs, etc. And finally, you can monetize it. So you can sell stuff on Chrome Web Store. And there are different options. You can have a subscription. You can have a one-time charge, etc. So all my extensions that I mentioned are free, and they are also open source, but I will cover it in a second. If you would like to deploy your extensions like inside your company, maybe it's very specific to your company or it touches some APIs that are not available outside, there are also options to have Chrome extension hosted outside. So you can just send people a CRX file, which is a signed zip file. That's a super simple solution. Another one is to host it on your own server, but it won't work for Windows. For Windows, there are some extra protections that disallow that. But your manager of network manager can use something called enterprise policy that will install this your extension to everyone in the company. Okay, so if you decide, as I did, to share your extensions with others and have it free, have it open source, you will get, and I encourage you to do that, you will get back some cool stuff. You will get bug reports, of course. You will get feature requests, and you will get contributions. For example, context that I talked before is now in 6 or 7 languages, and I myself know only 2 languages. So other guys send me in like Chinese translations. And you will get some pretty awesome reviews that these two always cheer me up. So it's really super cool to give back to the community, see what people are saying, to work together on extensions. And I haven't mentioned, but Snappy Snippet got kind of popular in the front-end world, and I had an opportunity to work on it with a Chrome developer. So there is a lot of opportunity. There are a lot of good things around extensions and being open source. So that's it. Thank you very much for having me. If you have any questions, you can mail me, you can tweet me, you can ask me right now, right here, or after the presentation. Thanks.